Okay, so following my previous video, June temperatures. So this is weather in Nali. So Nali is the village in the Soon Valley in Pakistan, where leopard geckos are native. And in fact, let's just have a quick look at a picture of Nali. 1 second, guys. So, hang on. Soon Valley. Kushab district. So we can see through looking at these photos on Google what the sort of landscape looks like, and it looks very, very beautiful. I'd love to actually go there on holiday. Um, so that's kind of what the landscape looks like in that area. Okay, and that is native leopard gecko habitat. Okay, so the weather. So Nali is a village located in the Soon Valley. Yeah, and there is mountains close by. Uh, the Salt Range Hills are close by. It's pretty much right by the Salt Range Mountains. Okay, so we can see through looking at this weather data that currently it's pretty hot out there. Okay, 40s, high 30s. All right. And the humidity is low as well, 14, 23, and all that kind of stuff. All right. So when I mean, I can't really compare data in the wild to data in the terrarium because they're both entirely different um, settings, obviously. Um, but we can sort of simulate in a way. Now, my argument earlier was that the basking light, which is now off, it's now dimmed off. Before it was on, and I was getting a bit concerned. The setting is at 22 Celsius, but it has dimmed off now, so it is working. So there's nothing wrong with the thermostat. But the temperatures in there are still in the 30s across the whole airspace of the terrarium, really. But that's because it's warm outside today. So obviously it's bumped up the room temperature. The slate in there as well has also affected the ambient temperatures in there. So, but Mr. Jinx is, as a result of the high temperatures, he is burrowing. He is hiding in his cave where it's cooler. So what I want to do as well is check the... Oh, sorry. I was going to look at the history of temperature in the terrarium through my IBBot sensors, and so this is from October last year up until now. which is June 23. So we can see that there has been a sort of a climate going on. Okay. So October we had temperatures of about up to 35 degrees and just above, with lows of high teens at night time. We can see in January, February, late December, temperatures got really low, even down to 11 Celsius one evening, during which Mr. Jinx was hibernating, and he hibernated for 100 days exactly. So he was out of it for that time. And then as we entered spring, temperatures started rising again, and now we're in June, temperatures have rocketed. Okay, so it's kind of like simulating typical like seasonal weather patterns, I guess. Okay. So the humidity has also shown fluctuations. In the autumn time, it was relatively more humid at night time, and then it was less humid during the day because it's still pretty warm in October. And then in the winter time, the humidity kind of increased a bit, and then has sort of steadied off again as the seasons progress. Summer, basically the climate in the wild is long dry summers and short temperate winters, and it's kind of looking like that when we look at these graphs as well, these charts. Okay. Now I'm not a meteorologist or scientist by profession. This is just data I've researched off me, myself, and technology that I'm using to try and mimic it as close to what it would be like in the wild. Yeah, it's fun. I just enjoy doing this sort of stuff, really. But yeah, so although this is in a replica of, say, a wild habitat, the fluctuations and variations kind of reflect what happens in the wild anyway. Okay. Right. Now, what else I wanted to look at was the UVB radiation. Now, this Pro T5 UVB bulb tube I have had now for, well, it's got to be about 2 years, because I had it in a previous setup to this. And then, yeah, so it's done its time. Yeah. Now, leopard geckos are in the Ferguson 1 zone of species, so crepuscular shade dwellers. So they only need a low UVI reading, so 0 to 0.7. Okay. So what I'm now going to do is open the terrarium. And using this solar meter, I'm going to take a reading. I'm going to do it from ground level. 0.2. So we can still see that there is enough UV emissions coming from that bulb, even though I've had it for about 2 years. Okay. So I don't need to get rid of it just yet. Did a little bit of tidying up here as well, just to, so yeah. So there we are, guys. I mean, really, it's a complex situation, really, trying to control the temperature. I mean, because it's such a complex setup, lots of varying kind of landscapes and micro habitats going on, which create microclimates and ranges in temperature and humidity and so on. Nothing's ever the same, so it's difficult to kind of go by the sort of standard protocol with temperatures, you know, temperature on the hot end and cool end and so on, when you've got so much going on in this sort of space. So yeah, but Mr. Jinx is well and he's happy. And there's crickets, definitely. They seem to be quiet now, but they definitely chirp away at night. So they must be breeding. Yeah. Okay.